Howdy, this is Tom, the Disabled Prepper. Welcome back. Yep, I'm back already. Didn't even change my shirt or anything. What kind of an uncouth bastard am I anyway, right? Alright, well, for my previous video, I'd like to continue on a bit and say, now is the time. We have to get our plans into place. This is what men do. Men prepare, men plan, we protect our family. I'm going to relate a story to you. My dad grew up in Harvey, North Dakota. His dad, my Grandpa Smith, was a drunken, abusive railroad man. And there were rumors that he would come home often. Well, he was a railroad man, so he was away from home, but when he did come home, he was most often drunk, and he would try to beat up my dad, my uncle, and my two aunts, 4 kids in the family. But Grandma Smith would jump in there and take the blows. So anyway, and my dad was a sailor, and he was in the Navy in World War II. He didn't see any real action per se, but even still. So I grew up, my dad, he was cold and distant. He didn't talk much. In fact, he barely talked at all, except, at family gatherings when we'd go to the park, all the grandmas and grandpas and everyone would go to the park, and we'd have a picnic and play badminton and stuff. It was kind of a good way to grow up in that regard. But personally, my dad, there was one rule in the house, and that was be quiet. So there was no talking. But in all of that, my dad always supported me when it came to work, or he always helped me. He would load his lawnmower and his edger into the back of his truck, and he would drive me across town to someone's house, and I would spend 2 or 3 hours mowing their lawn and edging and cleaning, and I would get $6 or something like that for it. And he'd come and pick me up and bring me home. We didn't talk much per se. And at another time, we lived in Fullerton, California, and I had taken my Volkswagen and a couple of buddies, and we went to the river in Arizona, which is a 6-hour drive roughly. And we got to Arizona, and my Volkswagen broke a crank, literally broke the crankshaft in half. And I called my dad, and he said, okay, he would bring the tow bar in his truck. What I didn't know was my dad had just gotten back from a trip to Las Vegas with my mom. So after driving 6 hours back from Las Vegas, he took a nap and then came to rescue me in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, not Phoenix, in the river. Can't remember the name of the place. It was a while back. Anyway. My dad, he wasn't personable. He wasn't really nice to me or any of my brothers. He was kind of cold and cruel. He had a piece of wood on the top of the refrigerator, and we got hit with it if we got out of line. But my dad always helped me. And that's why I have to go to Phoenix to help my daughter. Because that's what parents do. That's what families do. And that's what we have to do now as our country is trying to be deformed into something that it shouldn't be. So this is going to be a difficult thing. This is where being a man is going to come in. We have to have that discussion with our wives, our daughters, our sons, and we have to tell them that we have to be honest. We don't have to be scary. We just have to be honest and say, times are kind of a little frightening right now. We don't know what's happening. But we're going to make a plan. And that's what we as men need to do. We need to make a plan. We need to make a plan with our wives if we have them, with our children if we have them. And we need to know if something happens, who's going to go to school to pick up the kids? Who's closer? Who works farther away? The husband or the wife? Another thing you want to take into account in this planning, we want to be calm and we want to be thoughtful on how we want to do this. As another little story, I had a friend worked the 2010 census and made some good friends there. And one of the friends lived on Jackrabbit Trail in Buckeye. And after the end of the census, he was going to throw this big party, barbecue, drinking, pool, music, the whole 9 yards. It was really something, I assure you. I had no idea where Jackrabbit Trail in Buckeye was at the time, 11 years ago. It was literally a jackrabbit trail. It was almost nothing in terms of getting there. So anyway, why do I bring that story up? Because as we're seeing more and more in the news, these protesters are blocking roads, and if someone tries to get through, they will literally pull you out of your car and beat the crap out of you. Now, if something is happening and you need to get to your kid's school to pick them up, where do you want to go? Do you want to drive right through the heart of town where some random riot might appear out of nowhere and you end up getting pulled out of your car and beat up? Proper planning prevents poor performance. So plan properly. You don't want to go straight through the heart of town. You don't want to take a direct route. When you go to pick up your kids, plan on taking a jackrabbit trail, a side road, a small road, unused, and probably not blocked by rioters. Okay? That's the point of what this video is about, is we need to start planning this, and when I get to Phoenix, I'm going to do this with my daughter. Because what's important? Family. Family is important. Those you love, your community, those you care for. And we want to plan properly, and we want to be prepared to respond so that if something happens, we can be there to help. Okay, thanks for putting up with my anecdotes, my old stories here. I got a Brazilian of them because I'm kind of old. All right, remember to always keep your nose in the wind and your eyes along the skyline. Until we meet again.